All right, John, quarterback carousel continues with the Raiders, shockingly enough. Before we get into that, I mean, nothing has actually happened. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel and like this video. We appreciate it.
Our podcast also below in the description. Get on that and do it now.
So on Sunday, Ian Rappaport said about Derek Carr and whether or not the Raiders would trade him or consider trading him, I should say. For the last few years, the answer has been a firm no. That may not be the case now. Teams have been calling the Raiders to gauge interest in trading for Carr, and at least right now, the team appears open to considering it in some form or fashion as long as it can replace him with someone on the same level. In reality, the teams believe Las Vegas is open to dealing one of their two QBs, Carr or Mariota. They gave Nathan Peterman money, so they expect Peterman to be the backup. What he's saying is they're not necessarily going to trade him, but teams are calling about him, and they're open to listening, but they'd have to be able to replace him with a quarterback on his level, which that's really weird. Like you're talking about, is he saying in code they would do a deal that gets them Deshaun Watson? Is that what he's saying?
Well, here's what happened, guy. There was a story that was written about Derek Carr last week by a reporter in Vegas. And he basically said the Raiders would be open to trading him for a big haul. And I used to do a Periscope show. Now I just throw the thing on YouTube. And I said that the reason he wrote that is because he just writes what the Raiders tell him. He freaked out. I guess some people were forwarding me shit he said on it. He's got a radio show with Lincoln Kennedy claiming that he's not a Raiders shill. He's like, the Raiders do not dictate my. He's literally doing a radio show with Lincoln Kennedy on the Raiders station. It's like, guys, I mean, what are you guys talking about? Vinny, I'm not claiming that you made this up. I'm claiming that your information just came from the source. I red flagged that article for Derek. This is real, man.
You're saying you buy it. You buy it because 100%. You believe it comes straight from the mouth of the Raiders. Yeah.
Vinny would not have written that fucking to ruffle feathers with their quarterback and the Raiders if that was not real. And then Rap Sheet basically just doubling down, saying the same thing. Not that he's going to get traded, but they are having the discussion. My point is, if I'm Derek, I do too. I get ahead of this. And one of the things someone told me is that they want Derek to take a contract extension, but not like a Carson Wentz contract extension, like one of those team-friendly deals. Well, guy, what does that do over the next couple of years? That makes him even more tradable. It's a double whammy. Now, it gets him a little more guaranteed money, but you follow Derek on Instagram, he's made so much fucking money. It's not even, he's richer than rich. To me, he better be careful with two things. One, they will trade him if they can line it up to get Deshaun Watson. They will 100% trade him. And that could be to a team it'd be one thing to get to go to the Colts, which would be awesome. I was told
it'd be
from
good
a
for
very,
him.
very good would be great for him. I think he's made to play, don't you think, indoors in a warm weather division? I think it'd be perfect. I was told that Belichick likes him. I was told last year that Belichick sniffed around and once Tom left, tried to trade for Derek. And I told the person that told me this, I said, I think New England would be the worst fucking place for him. Not because him and Josh and Bill wouldn't get along. I think Derek loves football. And I think that Cam, I think they would respect him. It's a cold weather place. I think that fan base, Cam doesn't there's not a Tom Brady shadow. I think that's a disastrous place. It's cold weather, Tom Brady, anything less than competing to win championship. I would avoid that at all costs. Because in theory,
don't have great playmakers, not an all-around team.
The roster is probably at an all-time low the last couple decades. To me,
Matt Stafford had one team on his no trade.
If I'm the Derek Carr camp, I'm not being naive to this stuff. I'm getting ahead of it a little bit. And if you are going to trade me, I want to be, we're seeing all these other quarterbacks do it. You have a little juice, right? And I just think that Gruden, and listen, it's a cutthroat business. They're thinking about it, guy. This isn't even arguable. I think the last couple of years it was more couldn't we upgrade? No, they are legitimately, everything's on the table with the Raiders. Everything's which is kind of, to me, it shows you how, what do you guys, I think you're worried about the wrong thing right now. Shouldn't you be worried about trading, getting 2 picks and then trade 4 for Deshaun Watson? What are you doing?
The day after the season ended, I think it was that day, or the last Sunday of the season, I think is when we had the discussion about the good news for the Raiders is that the one thing you don't have to worry about this offseason is quarterback. You've got that corner of your house in order. Go redecorate a different home. And even the fact that this can't even be settled is unsettling from an organizational standpoint. Now, that said, if somehow they end up with Deshaun Watson, here's the thing. Deshaun Watson has a no trade. So Deshaun gets to dictate where he goes. If Deshaun Watson gets to dictate where he goes, and the Houston Texans finally agree to trade him, why would he agree to come play for the Raiders? He'd be like, no. Wait, you're sending Derek to Indy? No, send me to Indy. Why would Deshaun Watson go, yeah, okay. Why would he say that? You telling me the Texans agree to trade him, and Deshaun, not the Dolphins,
Well, because he's
not the Jets,
but
not the Niners.
But why would he want to go to the Jets? Why would he want to go to the Jets?
Well, okay, whatever. Why would he go? Why would he go to the Raiders? I mean, he want to go to the Jets if he believes in Robert Saleh and wants to be in the New York market. I don't know, but why would he go to the Raiders?
The team income tax.
You can get that in Miami. Go play for the Dolphins.
They got Waller. They got some offensive weapons.
Yeah, and the offense is not their problem. But what about your defense, guys?
Well, it does have some similarities. He'd go, I was just on a team with a good offense and a terrible defense. We won 5 games. My point is back. But even before, we're already 2 steps ahead. Let's go back to like just square one. I do think this is reflective of like why do the Raiders in 3 years just have nothing to show for it? Why there is a little bit of just Gruden up and down and all over the place. Again, this is not arguable. Vinny's article came from the fucking Raiders. Rap sheet is basically confirming like they're open to doing this. Like the Raiders would not want that out if they weren't. Now, part of this also is I think they're pressuring him to try to take a little bit of a cheaper contract, which my pushback is, Derek, do not take any money but max money. And I'm not some like I had no issue with Derek. I'm not some big Derek Carr like fan club should be a max quarterback. But if Derek Carr was a free agent right now, would he get $120 million?
He would get more money than they would offer him right now.
Wait, but I'm just saying, like, would he get more money than Jared Goff's contract?
Yeah, we said this before. I think he'd probably get near at the top of what quarterbacks make. Just free agent quarterbacks don't happen.
Well, John, I've been a good quarterback for you, especially just the last couple of years at a cheap rate. If you're the one fucking up.
If he and Dak both hit the market free agent at the same time, who'd get more money?
That's a good question. I think I'd probably take Derek.
I think Derek would get more.
I think they both get a lot.
Both of them would get more than their teams want to pay them right now while they're under contract. But that's the beauty of being a free agent. I agree with you. I would not sign a team-friendly extension.
Now, someone DM'd me. They're like, it was 27 touchdowns, 5 came in garbage time. And I'm not judging him off his stats. I just think watching him this year, he played well. He's better than he was the first couple of years. I don't know, man. I think Gruden is liable. Like we all have said this, and it felt like it just became like a lazy thing to say. John's crazy. John. No, he's legitimately all over the map.
Yeah, but
this is not fake and made up. If I'm Derek, I do not want to go to New England. They're sniffing around.
Yeah, but again, you're not. Marcus Mariota is not going to be your starting quarterback next year. He's not on Derek's level. So what trades can they do that?
Sean, he could do something crazy. I mean, I don't think he'd trade for Carson Wentz, but I don't know. I'm just saying, if I told you that like there's some 3-way trade, nothing would Gruden shock. Everyone I text, every single person, whether it's people that know him, whether it's people that just on other teams that just are fascinated by him, they all think he's crazy. It's not like one guy does. They all think he's nuts, right? They just think he's liable to do anything. And I think one thing he's shown us is he kind of is. Right? Well, they've done from the trades the Mac to Amari to then fucking hiring Mayock kind of out of nowhere to then like firing his buddy on a short week to just who knows? You just never know with the guy.
If I could play devil's advocate on this point, I'll make a point that I don't totally agree with, but I think there's something to it. The Niners didn't upgrade quarterback coming off of last year because Jimmy was good. They thought Jimmy's good enough. That's not really what our concern is. We got to do other stuff. And a year later,
they had lost in the Super Bowl.
And they'd lost in the Super Bowl. They had been in the Super Bowl. But my point is just they didn't do it for whatever reasons. But some of those reasons were, you know what? It was good enough this last year. We got to the Super Bowl. It was, and
you're
in
on
retrospect, they should have done
agree.
it. So if that's what you think about your guy and you think you can get another guy, we're here telling you need corners. You're like, yeah, I still need corners, but I need to upgrade that guy. The problem is when it comes to Deshaun it's like how much are you going to sacrifice putting a team together to get Deshaun Watson? And again, Deshaun Watson has to agree to come play for you. And my bet would be right now heavy. I would not be surprised, but you know what? I would be surprised if he traded him. Not like I haven't thought about it. I'm not saying right now I don't think he would do it, but if we just woke up tomorrow and Derek Carr had been traded, that'd be pretty crazy.
I would agree. I could just see them being part of some crazy trade like involving Carson Wentz. Like maybe John thinks he has a higher upside. He could get for like a 2-2s, and then flip Derek for a 1 and then even be more equipped.
What if you just
but
send him
there's
to
a
Philly?
financial aspect there.
What if you just trade them for each other?
Yeah, see, I don't think Eagles want to win. The Eagles want to like kind of go Lions for a year.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to get ugly there. But
yeah,
I just think Derek, I think Derek's very loyal to the Raiders, clearly. I think when he says all the shit like being a Raider, I think it means a lot to him. I think if you noticed last week, whenever he does in the offseason random pics of him in a jersey, that's his way of kind of saying, fuck these guys. Like, you guys are all acting like I'm going to get traded. Like, I think he's very, very passionate about being a Raider, which I think, people should care about. But a lot of the fans, if they don't think he's good enough, they don't give a shit.
Which the irony is that's all you want out of a player is to want to be on your team.
I know. When's the last guy that was that loyal for a Raider? It hasn't happened since back in the day with the Al Davis guys. And he is that way. John Gruden is not that way with him. He's just not. And what I've heard, they've really grown on each other. Derek wants to love John. John clearly understands Derek's gotten better, but there are reservations there. And back to what you said, if you wanted to take John's side, there probably is something there. Like at the end of the day, you're trying to win in this division, even though you beat the Chiefs this year, right? And Derek outplayed Mahomes in that game. And remember the game you lost. I mean, was that a top 5 game for Derek of all time? Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs? That was fantastic, right? That's definitely the best game he's played as a Raider under Gruden. Went toe-to-toe with Patrick when Patrick was balling.
Yeah.
I actually think that I've seen enough. It's like he's the least of your worries, but I don't think if I get a B+ quarterback, how am I ever going to win a Super Bowl? It's like, well, John, let's just make the playoffs first. But that's just not how these coaches think.
If Derek Carr got traded to the Colts, I'd be really happy for Derek.
To me, it'd be a huge win for Derek.
Yeah.
I think that is by far, or the Saints would be ideal spots for him to succeed. Dome, warm weather divisions, offensive coaches. Like, to me, even the Bears, and I know the Bears like him. Nagy likes him personally, coached him at the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl. His film, they just like his film. I don't like the Bears, cold weather. Like, I just don't love that fit for him in November and December.
I know.
It's a big city with a lot of people watching, too. In a weird way, the Raiders from Oakland and Vegas, they're kind of like a smaller market team. Like, they're not quite followed like the Eagles or the Giants were. Like, if you go to the Bears, everything is under a microscope. The other thing that happened with Derek when the Raiders is Gruden did take a lot of heat for him. Mm-hmm. Just Gruden took a lot of heat. And then in some of those Del Rio years, they were always moving. There's always other shit going on.
Yeah. You
go to the Bears as a trade for a first rounder, a lot of eyes on you, man. That's where I think New England, you want no part of that. Them trading like a first round pick for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's like I said earlier, Stafford was like, nope. For whatever reason, Stafford said, nope. Tom Brady just left. Tom Brady's like, nah, I'll move. I'll go somewhere else. That's not nothing. Nick Cassero was like, yeah, I'll go work for
Easterby.
Freaking stand-up comedian.
He called. He thought we were like Johnny Utah in Point Break. That's how he talked about us.
Was he like grabbing his nuts? Anyway, that's a separate conversation.